Garrison, just health-wise, how you doing, and what was that like, just trying to rehab from all that?
I'm good. It's been about 9 months post procedure, so I'm feeling pretty good. I'm out snapping. I'm full go. So it was definitely a long recovery, but we got a great athletic trainers, and they helped me get back to where I am now. So ready to get back on the field.
From a mental perspective, when was the point when you truly felt comfortable up here, stepping on it and cutting with it?
Cut. I mean, that's a hard question. I was on crutches and stuff for a while, a lot of weeks, but cutting on it probably 6 months, 5 months, but it's still, partly not normal. But I'm getting better, so I definitely feel more comfortable with it. But yeah, it's a hard question.
Have you ever not played football for that long? And,
No.
I guess what got you through it?
My faith is the biggest thing for me. Just knowing, at the exact same time when I got hurt, my church, Harris Creek, was going through 1 Peter, talking about trials and tribulations and, the purification through, they used an example of how when they are purifying gold, they put it in the furnace and then scrape the impurities off the top and then do it again. And that's just kind of how life is. So I understood at the time, I was going through a trial, but during that time I was able to grow closer to God through my faith and just grow my community with my teammates too.
Heard you have a community now that goes to Harris Creek, you invite 2 rows or something of people?
We got a good group of guys that go. I think this last week we had about 20. We did it, so we had a player-led Bible study this last, at the beginning of the summer, and we had about 30 or 35 guys that would go every week, which was, that was just cool to watch too, but I learned a lot through it.
I guess, on the football field, how excited are you for this season and kind of to prove yourself as a team and a unit to kind of rebound from last year?
I'm excited. This is, as a unit, this is the most skilled specialist room I've ever seen. I'm just excited to show out. We got a lot of potential. Last year wasn't how we wanted it. We ended up being 5th in the country for special teams, but we want to be the best. I think we got a lot more to show through it, and I'm just excited to play again, honestly. But.
With, obviously your dad going and everything, why did you stay? What was it about Baylor in this group, and why did you stay here?
It took me a while to decide on this, but I felt like this is just where the Lord wanted me. That was the main thing that just kept me here, because everything was kind of telling me I should go, But we were having this Bible study that was getting started up, and a lot of guys were going to it, and I felt like my ministry here wasn't done yet. So that was the main reason of why I stayed here.
You mentioned 5th in the country last year. How do you feel like you guys have elevated that in the offseason, and what aspects get better this year?
We just grew up. That's the biggest thing. This last year, we had a bunch of just immaturity throughout the whole team, whether it was not caring about winning, not caring about being the best that you can be, being complacent with taking losses and stuff. And we've grown up. We have matured a lot as a team, and I'm ready to show it,
How come you talked about this, how skilled the specialist group is? How comfortable are you with all of them, knowing that basically we're all back?
Good. My second year with Palmer, and he's gonna be a dog. But I'm excited to see how he does. Hank, I know he's gonna show out this year, and as a unit, we're just excited to show what we can, help with the team and prove ourselves. But yeah.
Offense, defense have been talking about a lot of more intense and kind of, they know that the cards are on the table for this season. You watch a lot of practice, and can you sense that kind of from watching practice?
Yeah. The intensities, the whole field is different. Like I said earlier, I feel like we grew up. There's a lot more intentionality throughout practice with offense, everything. And I'm just excited to be back, honestly. But
Isaiah, just how do you feel being back, and what's kind of things that you're working on going into this year?
So what I'm working on going into this year is just kind of polishing up little things and kind of just mainly getting my mind right. I feel like my kind of path every season has been, at the start of it, it's kind of a little shaky. Middle has been really good, and then the end is also kind of shaky. But in the middle, it's solid. And so this year, like, I want to start fast, and I want to like pick it up quick and not take a while to get to that point. And so just kind of cleaning up little things and just consistencies, and also just like really envisioning the ball, like going like through the uprights, like every time before I go, and just having the same sort of mindset. Just those sorts of things.
In your head, is there a distance where you're like, I really want to try it from this far, I think I can get it?
Man, I would just love like any sort of like long kick, especially like if it's like I got some wind in my back and I got like a record, you know, like we could try as far as we wanted to, and I'll absolutely give it a shot. You know, I think those are super fun.
Do you know what the school record is? Because I can tell you.
I don't know.
60.
60? Oh, we got that. That's smooth, yeah. We can get that.
And it goes all the way back to 1975.
That's crazy. That is a long time. That's a long time.
What is it?
Go ahead.
What is it about this group that's better than last year, aside from just maybe being a year older?
Are you talking about specialist group or the team?
Specialists.
Specialist group, like Gary said, we just like kind of grew up, you know. We got a new guy in, Connor, who's doing really well, and he's pushing us to be better. But also, like last year in the specialist group, like we made dumb mistakes, and we like goof off during practice some, and like I feel like we're all really locked in. And just like I said, I'm trying to like really like focus on all the little details that will get the big details right. I feel like Palmer's like that, Garrison's like that. Dylan has grown up a lot as well, because whenever Gary got hurt, Dylan was thrown into the fire, like bad, like game situation. You know, he's like freaking out, and it ends up being like a game-winning situation that he's put in as a first-time starter. You know, and halfway through a game, and so he's grown up a lot too. And so we're all really pushing each other to get better.
How good is it for you to have Garrison come back this year?
It's fantastic. I mean, it was a little nerve-wracking having Dylan for the first time last year, and I think he ended up doing really well. But Gary's consistency and just his level of play is just super high, and also like we have not played near a full season together, so maybe we'll both make it this time.
You talked about there were some practices where maybe you goofed off or whatever. Is there one guy in your group that holds you accountable? Is it Garrison?
I would say, yeah, me and Gary probably hold each other accountable the most, just because we've been like here for so many years together, like roomed freshman year, and like we've grown really, really close. And so I know anytime Gary's going through something, or he's like, you know, kind of slacking a little bit, I can give him constructive criticism. I can say what I need to say, and he can do the same.
When you talk about the small details, I mean, you talked about kind of trying to envision the ball going through. Are those details mainly physical? Are they mainly mental? Do they fall in one category or the other, or is it just kind of based?
Right. It's mainly mental, honestly. It's kind of hard to describe, but there's kind of like there's a difference in just going out to kick the ball and trying to like just kind of be relaxed about it, and then there's another thing whenever you just like Coach Aranda talks about it as like playing green, you know, or like you kind of just have a flow and you like walk out there and you're like fired up and you're like, okay, I see where this kick is going to go, you know. And I would say that's kind of like the mentality of it is like everything to me, you know, because if I'm thinking before this kick, man, don't miss this kick, you know, it's probably not going to be good, you know. But if I'm thinking, man, like that's the spot I want to hit right through the uprights, right there, and I'm aiming small and high and like far away, then that's probably what I'm going to hit, you know.
Do you know how long the one was that you hit today?
I don't. It's maybe a little shorter than 50. Or maybe, I don't know. Do y'all know? Around 50. I don't know.
You got it clean.
Yeah, distance-wise, it was good. Yeah.
Palmer, a year later, do you feel a lot more comfortable, maybe more confident than you did last year?
Oh yeah, I feel like last year felt like a deer in the headlights a couple times. I would never say the lights got too bright, but there was a couple times where I was definitely feeling a little palm sweat. But this year, I think I've grown up a lot and super ready to go get it this year.
Is there how do you get better? Like, what are your goals for this year compared to last year?
So this year, especially like starting in February, I did a lot of contact work. So I'd be in the indoor, especially once we got that finished. It was super nice to go in there late nights and do contact work for like an hour or so. But really going into fall camp this year, this is not really like training to get better. This is more just me controlling my reps. I feel like last year, the nervousness translated into more and more and more and more. And then it got to a point where game week, my leg was just blown and I couldn't hardly hit what I was hitting in practice. And so I feel like the maturity to let myself know, like, hey, this is my account for today. I don't need to get over this. Don't get under. Just that's where I need to be. I feel like that's something like that.
What do you mean by contact?
So when I hit the ball, there's like a certain way I hold it. And if you could imagine the Nike swoosh, I look at the top of that. So hitting the sweet spot and clearing the belly of the ball and turning the ball over pretty much every time is kind of, that's how I get my contact work.
For you, when you went from high school to college, what was the biggest difference in punting? I guess we think about football in general, we think about bigger, physical. Is it similar in punting or are there different?
It's pretty similar. I think, in high school, I was at a smaller kind of school. It's nothing like Texas high school football, but we didn't really have a coordinator, so it's kind of just like, Palmer, go out there and do your thing. Now it's like all these play calls, formations. I get a legit snapper, and I think op time is way more important. When I was in high school, I was just kind of just doing my thing, just playing football, but now it's a little more like, gotta do my job, Well, I did that in high school, but.
Along those lines, same thing I asked Isaiah, how big was it to get Garrison back this year for you, and what does he mean to that room and to you overall?
It was huge. I think we definitely felt it when he, towards the end of the season, after he got surgery, he didn't travel with us. So I think that was a big thing we were lacking on the sideline was his leadership because he's our main leader. So, and then, he's an NFL snapper. So he's definitely he brings a big difference to our special teams unit.
What's the relationship like between a punter and his long snapper?
We're boys, man. We were hanging out last night. I was hanging out with Garrison and Dylan. I think everybody in the group, though, we're like brothers, We're super, super tight.
Just the team overall, what are you sensing? What's kind of the mood in terms of maybe putting that one behind you and getting into this one?
Shoot, I feel like especially on defense, there's a lot of energy. I feel like dudes like Steve and KT, they bring a lot of juice to our defense. So I think people are just flying around, especially on offense, too. I feel like there's a lot of big plays. I feel like maybe we were lacking last year to really ride on that momentum. So I think we're looking really good.
You talked about, you want to limit maybe some of your contact work and find out where's the groove or the line between, feeling like you're constantly using the time to get better versus, like you said, knowing where your limit is so you're not overexerting yourself.
So I think I've been setting around a 20 ball limit. And I think it's definitely harder to do when I'm maybe not kicking great because it's I want to keep on going to figure it out. But I think about 20 reps a day. That's about my range now.
Anything else, Paul? All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.